everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Gymnasium. Oh, wait, sorry. No, this is Spring Fever. What am I doing? What am I talking about?
Jeez.
Eric, for those of you not in the know, I'm sneezing my ass off. I feel like shit right now. Apparently, my allergies started acting up right before the show. But we're gonna march through this.
You need that deep freeze.
Because it is time.
You need a deep freeze, man. I need a deep freeze bad too, man.
What do you mean a freeze?
Just kind of freeze the tundra, kind of help those allergies along a little bit, man.
I love doing a sauna. When I hit the sauna, dude, and it's like nice and dry, it always helps.
You may not know this, but I once dated. Well, you probably do. When I was dating the OnlyFans girl, she had a sauna and it was magical.
I miss it, dude. I miss it so hard. I need to hit the sauna again. Before we get into anything, Spring Fever this week, just like every other week, is brought to you by Royal Retros, your one-stop shop for everything. Everything that you want, merch-wise. It's got it all. It's got the Pittsburgh Maulers still. It still has my Philadelphia Stars. It has the Seattle Sea Dragons. It even has the 2001 XFL team, the 1980s teams from the USFL that didn't make it. And when you go to Royal Retros and you get your merch, make sure you use promo code SPRINGFEVER for 10% at checkout. What's up, Jon Snow in the chat already? Eric, this is a nice episode. I think it'd be fun just for each of us to take 5 things that we're looking forward to with the UFL season. But before we do that, there is something I wanted to look at, and that is your friends, Eric, over at DraftKings Sportsbook. I know that's one of your favorite sports books, right?
No, but there's no bet online, but okay.
Well, Bet Online doesn't have futures.
I know Dave's tanking. We need to get Dave on the phone.
Well, Sportsnet's coming in with questions.
Yes, I did date an OnlyFans girl. But it was feet. Does that count?
That counts. I mean, feet's a big industry, dude.
I mean, she was raking in. You'd be disgusted if I told you how much she was raking in.
I would not be surprised.
Maybe you were one of her clients.
We have the futures right here before us, Eric, for the UFL, courtesy of DraftKings. Currently sitting at 3-1. The Birmingham Stallions plus 380, both the Battlehawks and DC Defenders. At plus 475, we have the Renegades. At plus 650, we have the Houston Roughnecks, who honestly, I've been listening to a lot of like previews and everything. Initial thoughts, a lot of people had the Roughnecks near, like at the bottom. And then we have the Showboats at 8-1 plus 800. The Michigan Panthers at 13-1, and the San Antonio Brahmas down at the bottom at plus 1400.
All right, so let's just do a quick review of the playoff situation, okay? How do the playoffs work?
2 teams. So the conferences are split up XFL and USFL. So 2 teams from each conference make the playoffs. So 2 XFL teams will make it, and 2 USFL teams will make it. I think it's probably smart to like maybe pick 1 USFL team and 1 XFL team.
That's kind of what I would do. I mean, like looking at this right here,
Jon Snow is chiming in. I think the Brahmins will greatly improve with Dormady. I also think so too. I do think, and this is just my opinions, Eric. I think these lines aren't as much to do with the current rosters as we might think, rather than like previous performance of these teams. And I don't know if that's a good way to view it.
Yeah. I mean, like for me, number wise, I mean, my eyes right away go to the Michigan Panthers at 13-1, and the
Brahmas.
The Panthers at 13-1, and the Showboats at 8-1. Excuse me.
The Showboats at 8-1 caught my eye right away.
I mean, those are the 2 that kind of catch my eye. They're kind of like, okay, I'm kind of intrigued.
I will actually probably be making a bet on the Showboats. Have one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I like the coach. I like the system that they run. They have some really good players. I'm leaning towards the Showboats right now as my like pick, just because I like the odds. If I'm also picking an XFL team, I might take a shot on the Brahmas. I don't know.
I mean, I think the way to do it in this league is don't play short. I think you got to play a shot, if that makes sense.
The real thing to watch out for is whatever team starts to do bad, and then if Luis Perez joins that team midway through the season, bet on that team.
I mean, that the Luis Perez factor, I love it.
We got the Renegades what last year at like
12
plus to 1?
Yeah. That's what Prezi does, dude.
I think these are all fairly accurate. Out of like all the favorites, I don't know.
Look, so with what the Stallions have done, they deserve to be the favorite. It's 3-1.
For sure, they deserve to be the favorite.
Yeah, it's a little bit too short of a price. Definitely injuries at the quarterback position. We don't know what they have. Battle Hawks, I think that's another name brand recognition at the plus 380. DC Defenders, I think, is another brand recognition. Renegade won it last year.
The top 4 teams where there's like a separation, so it's 3-1 plus 380, 380, 475. 3 of these teams were in the finals last year of their respective like leagues. Like the Defenders and the Renegades, guess what? That was the championship of the XFL. And the Stallions won the USFL 2 years in a row. The Battlehawks, I do think they just have the name brand, and obviously they have probably the best quarterback.
Yeah, but people recognize it. Like this is the thing. Like people are going to be betting what they flip and recognize. And I mean, I think the value is, look, you got to take the Showboats, and then you got to take the Panthers just based on number value. That's what I think.
I might take the Panthers. They have too much unknown and unproven to me. I like the Showboats. If I'm going with the other long shot, I'm going to go with the Brahmas.
Yeah, might as well. I mean, I don't think there's value right now in any of these numbers right now. I think
if you really like the Roughnecks for some reason, maybe, but I think it's really these bottom 3.
Yeah. Yep.
I think those are the only ones that are really showing any value. Speaking of futures, though, before we get into the 5 things we're looking for, Eric, there are CFL futures still going. I want to see if they've moved around at all. I want to see what we got to work with here with CFL futures, because those are the only leagues that are still offering. Maybe I might look on. I might go look on FanDuel. Maybe they'll have some indoor football league futures for us with that season approaching.
Good old indoor football, my friend.
So, for the CFL, we have the Bombers sitting up top at plus 250. Let me see if I can get this up. How do I get this out of here? The Bombers at plus 250. The Lions, the Argos at 300. The Lions and Alouettes at 550. The Stamps at 8-1. Ticats also at 8-1. Rough Riders 12. Elks 12. Ottawa 25.
Look, I think this is another thing to me that just has no value. I'm not going to bet plus 250 on the Blue Bombers at all. Toronto, I think, is going to have a little bit of a fall. Montreal, I know
some controversy with Chad Kelly. I don't know if you've been keeping up with the news.
No, what's going on with
alleged sexual assault, I believe.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Jon Snow saying Elk should improve a lot. Again, I would take a shot with maybe one of these 3 teams if you like them. The Elks have burned me one too many times.
Do they have a thing where you could bet it'd be a Tiger Cats Elks matchup?
Oh, that would be something.
You know, just throw a little cheddar on that. I think that'd be cool. But
I wish they would do that for the UFL.
Yeah.
Let us bet like the exact matchup.
Yeah, that'd be phenomenal.
Okay, Eric, I think it's about time we get into our 5 things. But one last thing. So I've been doing the live streams where I've been rewatching the 2020 XFL season.
Uh-huh.
Greatly appreciate the way they incorporated gambling.
Yep.
Like, They had they would give updates on the live lines. The announcers, they obviously don't know very much about sports betting. They don't like try and give analysis. They say, "Oh, the over under is this, the spread is this. This is fun." They just kind of like chime
Yeah.
in a little bit with some opinions. They don't try and like act like
Overwhelming.
experts when they're obviously
Exactly.
not.
They know what they're talking about. Yep.
Exactly. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm
I
on week
like
2
that.
right now.
What days do you do that, my friend?
I do it on usually it's either Monday or Tuesday and then Friday.
Okay.
They go a little past your bedtime, Eric, but they start at like 8 usually.
Maybe I'll chime in for a little bit one of these days.
Shout out to T1, my man. I put all my money on Jesse Tambourine.
Respect.
You have to invest somewhere. Eric, what is your first thing you want to see from the UFL in the inaugural 2024 season?
Timely injury reports. I want to know who's playing. I want to know if someone's out. I want to know if someone can miss a game. I want to know who the starting quarterback is. I want to know if offensive linemen are out. I want to know what is going on.
My number one thing. These are in no particular order, by the way, for me at least. I want to see more sideline interviews. I want even more sideline interviews when stuff's happening. I felt like they got away from that in the USFL and the 2023 version of the XFL a little bit. Again, fresh in my mind, I'm watching 2020. Literally, they interviewed 2 quarterbacks back to back on the sidelines after they both threw interceptions.
I love it. And that's funny because that was my number 2. I want player interaction, especially after a costly turnover, fumble, interception, a dropped interception that leads to a team scoring, a missed field goal,
or
just
like a huge play too. Like a guy makes like a huge tackle somewhere, interview him right after. That's such good content.
I also think it would be fun, you can't really interview it, but kind of hear the process of the coach talking it out with the assistant coach or their statistician, in terms of going for it.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, kind of like the talking it out, when to go, when to kick, stuff like that.
Yeah, they already have the coach mic'd up. If they're
Yeah.
going with the XFL format, they already have the coach mic'd up. Why not just kind of incorporate that in there and kind of like get the analytics from the
source?
From the source, yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if it would change people's opinion if you get to like hear them go through the process of why they're determining what to do.
Yeah, I think that would be cool. I think that would be awesome. I don't think anyone does that. It will give a little bit of a deeper dive into it.
Number 2 for me, and I don't think this will happen, but I want to force it to happen. I want seltzer celebrations back. They look so fun.
Okay.
They look... Eric, you look for a second. Tell me these guys aren't having the times of their life after winning a game. Tell me.
Hey, Bud Light Seltzer time.
Tell me that's not awesome.
You should redo that with the song "I'm Having the Time of My Life" over it while they're doing it.
Oh, I should just look at every seltzer celebration. Oh, yes, sir! Shout out Nick Fitzgerald and Taylor Heineke being animals in that clip.
But the thing is, and I hate to play the Debbie Downer, there was that thing in Major League Baseball where the guy did drink too much in the locker room and then died in a drunk driving accident. You know what I mean?
It didn't happen in the XFL.
But I mean, that's kind of close. I mean, it's fun and everything, but got to be responsible, man. Got to be responsible.
No, they pop bubbly when they make the World Series in fucking baseball. They could do this in XFL or the UFL. Just have each conference have its own beverage sponsor. If they're trying to drum up this like rivalry, like between the XFL and USFL, have each one have different sponsors, and that would be hilarious to me.
That'd be kind of funny. That'd be funny. I want ESPN is working with this, right?
It's ESPN and Fox, I believe, that are like.
And what did ESPN just acquire and start doing?
Gambling with the ESPN bet.
So there is no excuse why we don't have in-depth lines. We don't have first quarter lines, first half lines, more live lines, touchdown scorer lines, player prop lines. This is something you can cash in on, and it is your television partner. This is something that should be done, and I think they're idiotics if they don't do it.
I wonder if they do something like that, if they'd make it like, since I assume a lot of that's up to the sports books themselves, I wonder if it'd be like, you can get props and quarter lines and first half lines over at ESPN Bet or at Fox Bet to like try and drive people to go bet there.
Exactly. And you can incorporate in the pregame show. You mentioned the betting at the beginning. Player X, I'm spacing on a player, needs 5 more yards to go over is over. Like have like a little live tracker on it. AJ McLaren, 275 yards, needs 5 more yards to go over is over. You like something like stuff like that.
Oh, dude. That would be sick. Because there should be something you could like pipe in real quick and not take away from the broadcast.
Yeah, McLaren up to 305. Those that bet the adjusted over, you can just hit that plus 250. Like just kind of shit like that. I really think that'd be something, just kind of embrace the whole flipping thing. I think that would be cool. Sorry, go ahead.
My only worry with that, before I get to my number 3, I just don't want them to like take away from the broadcast and like make the broadcast all about gambling.
Or you know what they could do? Like every team's going to have their quote unquote dude, their guy. They only mention it for one guy. Like everyone's quote unquote star. Okay, McLaren needs 2 more yards. Okay, you know what I mean? Just focus on one dude. Don't say it for every flipping guy.
Oh, that they could have like their prop of the game.
Yeah, just stuff like that.
That would be sick. And then Jon Snow, they could scroll it on the bottom too.
Yeah, as a ticker too. I think that'd be awesome.
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
My number 3 is I know a lot of people kind of dislike it. I want it more. I actually want them to drum up the USFL versus XFL more, and go, especially now that they're all combined. And I'll give him credit on this. And the couple times he's interviewed like the UFL people, I will give Pat McAfee credit. He's done a good job of stirring up the controversy.
Okay.
When he interviewed The Rock, he was like, let's be honest here. The XFL was way better than the USFL. And I was like, yes, I want this. I want the hate. I want the vitriol because it'll get clicks. It'll get people watching. And I wonder, I hope it makes for chippy games. I hope it makes for games where like you get like the Battlehawks versus the Stallions and it's pure hate. I want real rivalries to form.
And everything. I like that. Because rivalries would be great. Quarterback plays can be better. You get a little emotion in it. That would be really good. My next one is I liked in the first XFL how we got to hear the refs talk and how the review process happened. I liked it in the first batch of the XFL, that 2020 batch, if that makes sense. I like how they did it back then.
So the only thing with that is, because I agree with you, I loved it back then. The only difference is they had like different, like a review person for each game. And the new one is just Dean Blandino.
And I fucking hate Dean Blandino. Let the record show.
So like he watches every single game, and he's like the end all review guy. Like it's his authority.
I mean, I would like it if it was Dean Blandino. He looked like he was stressed out, with a cigarette in his mouth, and when it was just a dog shit review, him taking a puff and being like, what is this guy thinking?
I think if we want to make it more like 2020, he could do all the same stuff, but I want to see him over his shoulder, and he's got a little Xbox controller, because that was my favorite part of the XF of like the reviewers is they would just have like a little Xbox controller to like review the footage. It was sick.
I respect that.
Eric, that was also my number 4. Is I want to go back to the more like being able to listen to the refs and hear what they're going on. But it's gonna be Dean Blandino for the most part because he's like the rules guy.
I hate Dean.
I hope the real fun part to like increase this rivalry, it would be to have Dean Blandino and Mike Pereira like argue about it.
And if they have a disagreement, they arm wrestle.
Yes. Dude, Dean would kick his ass.
Dude, Mike's fucking gangster, dude. He's old school Italian, dude. He would scare the shit out of me.
Dean would kill him. I'm a big Dean Blandino guy.
I hate Dean.
It's fair. What's your 5th and final, Eric?
I like how the NFL for FanDuel and DFS does stuff. How DFS was it for the USFL and XFL last year? It was 5 players. You pick a quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, a flex, and a defense. I want it to be like that. I don't want this thing where you pick 5 players and it just is what it is. Yes. I want a better DFS slate. And again, look, if you want people to watch, that gambling and DFS is the pattern. That's the blueprint right there. And if you're not going to incorporate it, I think it's going to be a big mistake. And it's something that they should do. And then maybe, I don't know, at the end of the game, like you say, okay, boom. No, you can't really do that. You know what I mean? Like, or you could have like the beginning of the game, like DFS player to watch. At the end of the game, they chime it down with like, this is what they had. I think there's a way to incorporate all the DFS and gambling stuff. I just want to make sure it's done on point.
Yeah, I'd love to be able to get on point on everything.
But you know what I mean? There's got to be like some blueprint where it's not done too much, just enough to make the people engaged with it. And
there's a balance to walk.
Yeah. There's that fine line. You don't want to go overboard, but you don't want to keep it too much.
My 5th and final bit that I want is I'd love more like internet, like online content, like YouTube content. Like
TikTok.
I wish they were doing a Hard Knocks thing for training camp for all the teams.
I think TikTok is the way to go with that.
TikTok would be sick too, and they do some stuff on TikTok, but like I want more.
There's like this girl I follow her. She like her whole TikTok.
Does she do foot stuff?
No, she just videotape. It's just her talking shit to herself, and then taking pictures of Tigers players walking into the arena. I just think that's something it can be something as simple as that. You know what I mean? I just don't outthink the room, if that makes sense.
Well, look up UFL on TikTok right now. Oh, it's a soccer video game as well. Okay, here it is. Oh, something about destroying at training camp. I would love a Hard Knocks series, to be honest.
And with ESPN Plus, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it would, Eric. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. God, I want it. Also, I would love for them to let me try out for the UFL.
You should write The Rock and just be like, hey, man, bring me on board. I'll be in charge of your TikToks. And like you could do so riddle me this, okay? No, just riddle me this. Like you have a TikTok.
I just love the fact that you said riddle me this.
Yeah. No, here. You have a TikTok and okay, top 5 hits from last week. top 5. You know what I mean? Like top
Oh,
5
stuff like that would
touchdowns.
just—it's so easy.
You know what I mean? Top 5 touchdown celebrations. Just little things like that. It would be so easy to do, and you get a million things. Like, you get piece in Rock little sound bits from The Rock when he does it, from his wrestling days. I mean, this could be an absolute huge thing. Obviously, I think one of the key things we need to kind of monitor is The Rock is now on the board of the parent company that owns WWE and the UFC. Are we going to start to see The Rock be able to, you know what I mean? Be able to bring some of those guys on board to do some cross promotion things.
It'd be sick.
You know what I mean? Is he going to be able to finagle? Is he going to be able to do that? I think that's a very interesting thing to monitor. Bring in. Yeah, I mean, McGregor's not doing anything. Bring in McGregor for something. Bring in. Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, a wrestler.
The Undertaker, maybe.
The Undertaker. Just to kind of get something going. I think that's something. You can do. I think that another thing that I should have mentioned is there's all these goddamn sports shows on ESPN and Fox Sports 1. There needs to be some sort of
dedicate an hour to the UFL.
No. Just like a stagnant thing. Okay, you know what? Player X, you're on First Take on Monday. Player B, you're on Fox Sports 1 on Tuesday, but it's always a different show. You know what I mean? So you go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. You alternate, but it's always a different show. It's never the same. Like Monday is one show, Tuesday is another show, Wednesday is another show. So you're alternating shows and networks per day. I think that'd be something that could kind of help. And plus, it is on the company. You know what I mean? Like, you should be able to do it. So
I want to see it. Eric, we actually have it this month. It's 24 days away.
Are you excited?
I have been shaking.
What's
hard for me to sleep.
When's opening day?
March 30th.
Are you nervous?
A little bit.
March 30th. Isn't that Easter weekend?
No, is April 1st? When's Easter?
Easter is March 31st.
Yeah, so it's the day. So we will have UFL on Easter.
I mean, Jesus Christ.
Easter
that's
football, baby.
That's dumb, dude.
No, holiday football?
Dude, no.
I mean, they've had games on Easter every year.
I'm not a big fan of the Easter stuff. So
I'm cool with it.
I'm not a big fan, dude. I always bake a cake on Easter. That's my yearly cake baking.
What kind of cake?
Dude, it's usually just a traditional yellow cake with chocolate frosting, dude. I'm a simple guy, man.
Okay.
Nothing fancy, dude. Nothing fancy.
Do you think we should get a booth for the championship weekend?
I think we should apply now for a media pass.
I need to figure out how to do that. We should apply for a media pass.
Rock. Let me ask you a question.
No, I am interviewing so many players. Like Scooby Wright has been in every single one of these leagues. Scooby Wright's been in the AAF. He's been in the XFL. He's been in the USFL, and now he's in the UFL.
Yeah.
Same with Perez.
Perez has been around the block, dude.
Perez has been everywhere, dude.
Yeah. Perez has been around the block.
One thing, Eric. One thing that you're worried about for the UFL. We did 5 positives. We'll do 1 worry.
That the first week's rankings are not good, and ESPN and Fox panic.
What is not good?
Well, they're lower than what they what they did last year. I don't know what they did. What was the number they did last year?
For which league?
The XFL, because it was more popular.
That's a championship game.
So let's say they draw under 1 million people.
Yeah, for week 1, that would be a little worrying.
If they drew under 1 million people and their and it wasn't trending on X, you know what I mean? Their social media present wasn't as good, then they panic and everything gets moved to a streaming thing. I think that would be that right there is my worry. I will say this. I do feel though that the marketing is way more visual this year. I'm seeing it on college basketball games. Saw it during the NFL playoffs. Seeing it randomly during the middle of the day. I'm at least seeing advertising, which is going to help. But I really feel that they need to really push it that week with all those shows that they have. SportsCenter shows every morning for like what, a 3-4 hour bend. You can just do a segment on repeat. You can you can tape a segment with a player and play it during every one of those goddamn shows.
Goddamn right they can. God, I want them to. I'm looking forward to it. My worry, Eric, is not so much week 1. I'm very confident. Even with Easter weekend, I'm confident week 1 we'll have good ratings. It's weeks like 4 and 5 that I want to keep up those are the ones I'm worried about. I'm not worried personally, but if I were to be worried, that's what I'd be worried about. But I am very hopeful that it's like over the air networks this time.
You're going against Easter and the Elite Eight. That is worrisome for me.
The Elite Eight's bullshit. Don't care. No one cares about that level of college basketball. And Easter, you know what, Eric?
So let me get this time out. Let me get this straight. Hypothetically, the Cornhuskers, the mayor, Fred Hoiberg, has them go on a magical run, and they get to the Elite Eight, and they're playing the very same time as a UFL game. What are you watching?
Eric, that's why God invented multiple screens.
What's on the main screen?
Oh, it's the UFL.
Okay.
That's the UFL, no question. It's the UFL hands down. And also, I don't know, I like having, I think maybe this is my weird spring football brain. It most definitely is. I'd love to have our league associated with like Easter the way the NFL's associated with Thanksgiving.
So I just lost my cat on an in-and-out jump shot with UConn going berserk from 3.
I think that's a good spot to end the show. Everyone, go to Royal Retros. Get your merch. Do it. And use promo code SPRINGFEVER when you do it. And tune in to the live streams. I'll announce them like the day of when I'm doing them. But usually Mondays and Fridays.
I'll do my best to be there.
Peep in there and watch some 2020 XFL while we wait for the UFL season. We love you guys. We'll see you next time for some Spring Fever. Bye, everybody.